How you guys doing? Just chance to get back, after playing this weekend and kind of seeing ourselves, testing ourselves, and now getting back to practice, getting back to work. And, this is a big week for us. So, the Big Ten ACC Challenge is always big for your league. It helps you, kind of establish your footing in terms of where you need to be. We need a bunch of non-conference games against ACC opponents where we need to put ourselves in good position where it can help you down the line. So I think this challenge is always beneficial for the Big Ten and our league. So we want to put our best foot forward and help our league. And then we also, have a league game following up after that. So this is another great week, 2 great tests for us. We're looking forward to seeing where we are after this weekend, how we can use these couple of days to get better, play a game, then use a couple more days to get better, and be ready to go twice. So we need all of Nittany Nation to help us. So we're excited to have our students back. We're excited to have our fans back, and we're excited for this week.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good.
Do you feel like Jalen Pickett turned a corner this weekend?
I think so. He was a lot more aggressive, you could see. I think he's getting more comfortable in terms of what we're doing, what we're trying to do. We're trying to get the ball in his hands a lot more as well. So I think once you start to have that success, the confidence kind of comes, and you can see that confidence coming out of him. So that's who we kind of thought, who he was. Not who we thought he was. That's who we knew he was because we'd seen it, and he's done it. He's done it throughout his career. So we need him to continue to play like that, continue to be aggressive, continue to set up himself and set up other guys. So no steps back like we always talk about with our team. He needs to keep building forward off of this.
Micah, does it help to have an assistant who is so had coached at the other school? Is that over kind of stated, or is there some benefit to that?
I think there's some benefit to that. He's been there. Adam's been there for a long time, and he knows kind of the feel of what they want to do and how they want to do things. It's a hard game, and he's nervous about it, right? Like everybody is, and I'll tell him, I've been through it a couple of times. When I left Butler and went to Purdue, we played Purdue the very next year. We played Butler the very next year. And you kind of go through those throughout your career every once in a while. They're not fun games. You want to put your best foot forward. But, he knows a little bit about what they want to do, how they want to do things, like situations that they've been in, how they handle those situations. So it's helpful in a personnel sense. It's helpful in a way to help prepare for them. But it gives us a little bit of an advantage. But he hadn't been in practice with them all year, so he doesn't know the keys to everything yet.
One thing we saw with Seth last year is when his shot wasn't falling, it seemed to impact the rest of his game. How is he doing with that? I apologize, I didn't see Saturday's game, but how is he doing with that this season? Thanks.
You know what? I thought he bounced back and played better on Saturday. Being able to attack the rim, being able to get some easy baskets there. He didn't shoot the ball particularly well on Friday night, right? And that's, everybody looks at that and is like, man, Seth really struggled. But on the other end of it, he was the one that was guarding Darius Days, their best player. He held him. I don't have the box score in front of me, but I want to say Days had 4 or 6 points or something like that. And Seth was a huge part of that. He really took on that challenge defensively and made it hard on their best scorer to score points. And so he didn't play well offensively, but he got the job done defensively. So, you're getting something great from him. And just keeping his confidence is, I think that's one of the biggest things. He works so hard. He's really hard on himself, and he wants to do well every single time, right? So if he's not shooting the ball well, you can still do a lot of other things, but also keep your confidence and shoot the next one, shoot the next one. He made a huge three in overtime. When he hadn't shot the ball well all game, if he can do those things, stay confident when he's struggling to shoot it, but finding other ways to score and then finding ways to rebound and defend, I think he can still help us when he's not shooting the ball or having a great game shooting the ball.
Hey, Micah, how you doing?
Yeah.
Just wanted to ask if you have any update on Giovanni Scott and Greg Lee and whether either of those guys are close to returning. Thanks.
We're still waiting on Greg. He's got an appointment coming up here soon, kind of give us our next step. So, the last time maybe 2 weeks ago, he was progressing and healing really well. So he's on track to come back. I don't know when that'll be. Giovanni's getting close. He's getting close, but these are hard games, right? He's got to get his feet wet somehow, some way. And I don't know if throwing him to the fire against LSU or Miami or Ohio State or whoever it may be, I don't know if that's the time to do it. When you miss so much time, you can't just jump in and everything's going to be seamless or everything's going to be great. You got to build up to it. So hopefully soon on both of those guys, we'll know something pretty soon. So, but our guys are excited for them to come back and for us to have them. And I think that just adds more depth and more athleticism to our team.
So is Giovanni eligible then? You're just waiting for the right time?
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going, Micah? I'm over here.
It's great.
Good to hear. Jelani looks like a guy who shows flashes of a ceiling that is very far from where he is right now. What do you see out of him currently, and where do you think he can kind of end up at, let's say, a month from now, 2 months from now?
Yeah, you know what? Jelani, sorry. There's a lot of J's and a lot of syllables, and they all sound alike. So I do it in practice at the same time. I'll call him by the wrong name, unfortunately. Jelani, the one thing Jelani is, and for good and bad purposes, Jelani's a thinker, right? He processes things. And when you're playing basketball, it's not always a good thing to be processing things, as the action's going on. I think he is starting to get comfortable in terms of what we need and what he needs to do to be successful. And I think the more comfortable he gets, the more he starts to play off of his instincts. That way, now his athleticism starts to come through more, him blocking shots, him getting offensive rebounds, things like that. He shot a couple of jumpers. I don't remember even what game it was. They run together. And, he's a good shooter as well. And I keep telling him to find his opportunities to, pick and pop and take shots. That's something that you do well. So, but still, he's still trying to feel it out in terms of, what that is, how that opportunity presents itself and everything else. So, I keep saying it, keep echoing it. I think our team's going to keep getting better as the season goes on. What you see in November should look different in December and different in January, different in February and everything else. So I think his production will start to go up more. I think once we get some of the other guys back and we get more depth, you can start to play a little bit bigger. So he gets more minutes on the court. And, that's where I think he gets more of an opportunity. More things start to show up in his game.
You've obviously been around basketball for a long time, so you've won games and you've lost games. But I'm wondering, as a head coach, how has winning sat with you and how has losing sat with you, especially because you've done both of those things in a variety of ways so far this year? Does it compare to maybe what you thought it would be like, or how is that?
Yeah, I'm the same. kind of the same person in each way. I want us to play good basketball. No matter if we win or we lose. Like, I felt good. I felt good after wins. I felt bad after wins, right? If we're not playing the right way. So, for me, I'm trying to like set a standard of what we do and who we are and how we try and play the game. Like, I wasn't very happy on Saturday at the end of the game. I didn't think we held ourselves to the same standard of how we were supposed to play for 40 minutes. And if we want to be a really good team, we got to play that way for 40 minutes. And we didn't do it. So, and we were winning. Like, we were up double figures. But like, that's how you're supposed to play. If it's a 20-point game, a 30-point game in either direction, play the same exact way. And I didn't feel like we did that. That's still a process for our team. And but for me, like, that's who I am. I hate losing. Like, absolutely hate losing. I can't sleep at night. I can get up early. It eats me alive. But playing the right way is way more important than winning and losing.
Hey, Coach. You held Oregon State to 45 points and LSU to 68 points with an overtime. What has been going well defensively in the past couple of games, and how do you continue the success into this week?
I guess it goes back to what I was just talking about, like our standard of what we do and how we play. And, like, no disrespect to Oregon State or anything like that, because I think Wayne Tinkle's a really good coach, and I think he's, like, one of the nicest human beings I've ever met. But they shouldn't have scored 40, right? That's where we let up. We thought the game was over, and there was 8 minutes left. They shouldn't have scored 40 points on us. And once you start to build that mindset of how tough and nasty and gritty you need to be, like, you need to own that for 40 minutes a night. And, I think we're getting better. I think there's still areas where it's not perfect. Right? I'm gonna leave here and I'm gonna go upstairs and show us clips of 30 possessions defensively of things that we can do better. And, like, we got a long way to go defensively, and we're holding people to that. But, like, I'm never gonna be satisfied with it. In terms of how we play. And, like, you hear my voice right now, that's all from yelling about defense and what we're not doing and how we need to be better at it. So I think we'll continue to grow, continue to build, continue to tweak some things that I'm really proud of our guys for. We had to guard in a system against Oregon State. We didn't have the same time to prepare that we did for LSU. We had to trust our system and trust what we did from this summer and this fall in practices to guard those guys, just because we didn't have any time to do it, and they did it, and they played it in the right way. So we get a few days to prepare for Miami and a few more days to prepare for Ohio State. They're good teams. They're going to create different challenges for us, but if we keep growing and building, I'm happy in the direction we're going. We were 300. When I say we're 325th in 3-point percentage defense after the UMass game, so we're up to like 150, 160 or something right now. So we're going in the right way.
Micah, did you expect when you knew that you weren't going to have Greg Lee and Giovanni Scott for a certain amount of time that you would be shooting the three as often as you are? And are you satisfied with that? And do you expect that to continue even when they are able to play?
It kind of goes off of, how the defense plays us is what we end up doing. LSU, Oregon State, they were both like help-centric type of teams defensively. So anytime you drove the ball, they were going to collapse their defense, which was going to lead to more kick-out opportunities. What that does is without those guys, we're playing smaller, we're playing more skilled, so we have more three-point shooters on the floor. So it just happens to be the shots that we get. It wasn't anything that I tried to plan. I think, we have a guy that does some analytic stuff for us, and we look at different shots and where they come from. Right now, we're doing a great job of scoring the ball at the rim and scoring the ball from three. Like, we're not shooting as many kind of mid-range pull-ups, and we're staying away from those. We shoot some because, you have to. That's the game of basketball. But we're taking those shots. We're taking shots at the rim, or we're taking wide-open threes without me, like, going straight Mike D'Antoni on them and saying these are the only shots we're taking. It's just happening that way because we're trying to attack the rim. We're trying to attack the basket. Now people are helping, and we're getting open threes. So I guess unintentional circumstances, would that be the word? Yeah. So it's just here in my lingo. I went to Hanover, so like, no disrespect to Hanover. It's a great education. Woody Harrelson and I are like proud of the degrees that we both have from Hanover. Sometimes I just make words up and throw them together. Hopefully they sound good.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.